19-year-old mother was fatally attacked in a cold park. The killer's shocking motive reveals a chilling lack of humanity.
911, where's your emergency?
I'm at Pearl Spring Park in Wright County off of Highway 25.
Yep.
I just pulled into the park here and there's somebody laying here. It looks like they're dead.
Police have a prime suspect until they discover he was already behind bars when the murder happened.
I am not the one that gave her a ride. I can't tell you what park it was at, and I don't even know how to load a gun. And I am going down for murder for someone and I wasn't even there.
On the morning of June 1st, 2016, Wright County officers responded to a call that would haunt them. They found 19-year-old Cheyenne Kloss face down in the dewy grass. 3 bullet wounds, 1 in the back, 2 in the head, and execution. Cheyenne wasn't just a victim. She was a fighter. A young mother who got pregnant at 15, dropped out of school, and worked multiple jobs just to support her little boy. Her life was a constant struggle, but she never gave up. Her sanctuary was a shared house in Maple Lake. With her best friends, Natasha and Callie, and their boyfriends, they were a makeshift family, inseparable. But this family had a cancer growing inside it. His name was Devin Bowe. A bad boy with a long rap sheet, Cheyenne saw an escape from her difficult life. Her friends saw a ticking time bomb. They hated him, and that hatred was about to boil over.
Yeah, COLCOUGH.
You got arrested by bounty hunters?
Yes.
When was that?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? Where was that
It
at?
was the 30th
The 30th?
in Maple Lake.
Okay, where at Maple Lake?
A bounty hunter had snatched Devin the day before the murder. His alibi was ironclad. He was sitting in a cell while his girlfriend was being murdered. The real killer was still out there, and the police had just run out of leads.
Can you help me out with kind of knowing what would have led to that? To someone being absolutely brutally upset with her to go to the level of trying to kill her?
I don't know, man.
With their prime suspect cleared, detectives were back at square one. Their only path forward was Cheyenne's inner circle, her best friends, Natasha and Callie.
This door had to be forced open. It was just a bit of a patio area. Majority of things you see were all done prior to our entry. As far as the why everything is located where it is.
The house wasn't just messy, it was ransacked, as if someone had torn through it in a panicked frenzy, grabbing whatever they could before running for their lives. And then they found it. A spent .22 caliber cartridge, the same caliber that tore through Cheyenne. The forensics would later confirm it. The gun that killed her was fired inside this very house. Her friends weren't just missing. They were fleeing a murder scene. A tip came in. The group was spotted at a gas station just outside Minneapolis, stocking up on supplies. They were in 2 cars, with a new player, a man named Edward Zello. Their destination? The Canadian border. They were inches from vanishing forever.
So when did you decide to come up here?
My family had this planned out with their family for a while to go up here, and we were only supposed to be here for like a night or 2 and then go home. And then I know.
When arrested, Callie played dumb. But under pressure, the story of the final night began to crack through. It started with a betrayal.
Cheyenne started freaking out at Natasha, saying that she snitched on her boyfriend. Because she was freaking out my sister, I just said.
Say again?
Because she was freaking out my sister. Like, she was freaking out for no reason.
You mean like a verbal altercation, a physical altercation? What do you mean by fighting? Describe that to me.
Verbal.
Verbal? What are they saying?
She was calling her, Cheyenne was calling Natasha a snitch.
They forced Cheyenne out of her own home. But the question remained. If she had her own car parked outside, why did the boys need to give her a ride that night? This case is about to take its darkest turn. If you want to see the moment a best friend confesses to a nightmare, make sure you're subscribed. What happens next changes everything. With Callie's story pointing fingers, detectives faced Natasha Brenberg, and the moment she walked in, they knew she was the key. The guilt was written all over her face.
I'm not gonna lie for anybody anymore.
Please don't.
I was freaking out because I wanted to turn myself in, and they told me that I was stupid. I was like, I understand, but I didn't kill Cheyenne, and I don't want to be blamed for killing Cheyenne.
She confessed to the fight, but her version was laced with a desperate attempt to save herself. But the details she revealed were horrifying.
She thought you turned her boyfriend in, and then what happened?
And she kept getting disrespectful, rude, and making snarky comments. And I was like, listen, either you leave now or I call the police.
But then her story shifts. She claims Justin, Sean, and Eddie took Cheyenne. And they came back half an hour later with a confession.
And then Mr. Ed shot her in the back, and she started running. And Eddie had to, like, pin her down and restrain her. I was at home with Kelly and Justin. I am not the one that gave her a ride. I can't tell you what park it was at, and I don't even know how to load a gun. And I am going down for murder for someone, and I wasn't even there.
She knew about the ride. She knew about the park. She knew the gun needed loading. She knew everything. She was the catalyst. The one who started the fight that ended in a death. In the end, a deal was cut. The three men, Justin, Sean, and Eddie, pled guilty to second-degree murder. They got 30 to 40 years in prison. But Natasha Brenberg and Callie Anderson, the best friends who lit the fuse, who betrayed Cheyenne and then gave up the boys to save themselves, walked out of the courtroom completely free. No charges, not even as accomplices. The trigger was pulled by a man, but the murder was set in motion by a best friend.